Meghan Markle is once again at the center of a media storm, this time not for royal fallout or Netflix spectacle, but for erupting in fury after veteran broadcaster Dan Wootton publicly slammed her now-defunct podcast Archetypes as all trash. During a live segment, the dramatic moment, which reportedly left Meghan seething with rage, has reignited a fierce debate about her relationship with the media, her credibility as a content creator, and her persistent portrayal as the misunderstood victim of royal and public scrutiny. But many argue the Duchess of Sussex's latest outburst only reinforces a troubling pattern of self-importance, media manipulation, and an unwillingness to accept honest criticism. Wootton, known for his hard-hitting royal commentary and no-nonsense media style, didn't mince words when addressing the abrupt collapse of Meghan's Spotify deal, a $20 million contract axed after just 12 episodes. During a recent episode of his GB News show, Wootton bluntly declared Meghan's podcast was all trash, PR fluff, performative feminism, and zero substance. No wonder Spotify cut ties. His takedown wasn't just casual mockery, it was a scathing indictment backed by growing public and industry frustration with what many see as Meghan's chronic overpromising and underdelivering. Meghan's response, according to sources close to her camp, was immediate and furious. She allegedly burst out with rage, accusing Wootton of personal attacks and weaponizing hate to boost his ratings. But this emotional eruption has only amplified her critics' voices. For someone who claims to champion compassion and authenticity, Meghan's repeated hostility toward dissenting opinions seems increasingly hypocritical. When media figures praise her, she amplifies their voices, but the moment she faces harsh but arguably valid feedback, she lashes out, painting herself as the perennial victim. The Archetypes podcast itself is now under sharper scrutiny. Despite a high-profile guest list, including Serena Williams, Mariah Carey, and Paris Hilton, critics noted a lack of depth and authenticity. The episodes often felt more like curated image polishing than genuine conversations. Even Spotify executive Bill Simmons, without hiding his disdain, called Meghan and Harry grifters, a term that stuck with increasing frequency in commentary circles. Simmons's insider remarks were no offhand joke. They reflected a growing belief that the Sussex brand is more about monetizing royal fame than delivering real value. Beyond podcasting, Meghan's media persona continues to court controversy. Her Netflix docuseries with Prince Harry, once touted as an honest window into their post-royal lives, was slammed for factual inaccuracies and emotional manipulation. Royal historian Robert Jobson called it revisionist storytelling, while others labeled it a calculated attack on the monarchy. Meghan, instead of engaging in dialogue, doubled down on her narrative, always portraying herself as maligned, misunderstood, and unfairly targeted. Critics argue this posture of perpetual grievance and curated victimhood is central to her brand. Meghan claims to fight for equality and women's voices, yet has silenced critics through legal threats, media control, and a carefully managed public image. She speaks of resilience but reacts with visible hostility to any form of unflattering commentary. The contradiction is glaring. How can one preach openness while actively suppressing dissent? Dan Wootton's criticism didn't emerge in a vacuum. It echoed a larger public fatigue with what many now see as Meghan's self-serving storytelling. Media veteran Piers Morgan, never one to hold back, chimed in again this week, tweeting, "Dan Wootton said what everyone else is thinking. Archetypes was a snooze fest of woke whining. Truth hurts." Even among some of her initial supporters, there's a growing sense that Meghan's media ventures have less to do with empowering others and more with amplifying her personal narrative. The fallout from this latest clash isn't just about one podcast or one commentator. It speaks to a deeper cultural divide between those who see Meghan Markle as a courageous woman standing up to institutional injustice and those who see her as a carefully packaged media product who exploits victimhood for profit. In this light, Wootton's all-trash remark may have been blunt, but for many it struck a chord. Meghan's fury, though human, only served to validate the critique. If her content truly stood on its own merit, one might expect a calm, confident rebuttal, not a meltdown. Instead, the Duchess's explosive reaction seems to reaffirm what her critics have been saying for years. Meghan Markle doesn't want open discourse, she wants applause. And when she doesn't get it, she burns bridges. This pattern has played out repeatedly within the royal family, among former friends, and now within the entertainment industry. Meghan's fallout with Spotify is just the latest in a growing list of fractured partnerships. Before the Archetypes debacle, there was the highly publicized rift with Buckingham Palace, where she and Prince Harry accused unnamed royals of racism in their now infamous Oprah interview. Then came the Netflix series, which further alienated the Sussexes from the royal establishment and reportedly caused irreparable damage to Prince William and King Charles's relationship with Harry. Even among Hollywood elites, the sheen appears to be wearing off. Industry insiders, speaking anonymously, describe Meghan as difficult to work with and obsessed with controlling her narrative. There's a growing sentiment that working with her comes with too many strings attached, an endless list of image consultants, sensitivity readers, and PR filters that drain the authenticity out of any project she touches. Dan Wootton's on-air takedown didn't create this perception, it simply articulated what many in media and entertainment have been whispering for months. Meghan's rage might have been personal, but the backlash wasn't. It was professional, factual, and long overdue.